Veloso and welcome back to my channel. In today's video guys, nandito kami ngayon sa Avenir's building dahil mayroon kaming workshop or tutorial with Sir Smulo. Are you excited? Keep on watching guys dahil marami tayong matutunan dito. So at my back guys is the bridge near Ayala and near TESDA building. So this is the TESDA building. Ayan. So nice view here guys. Iris is there. So sexy. So sexy mom she Irish. Let's go inside. See you later. So we are here now with Sir Smulo and Iris is vlogging. So GJ. Vlogging also. Everyone is vlogging. And our founder.
Musta? Smulo is here.
Yes.
And Saf is here.
Hello, hello.
Saf Santillano?
Yeah.
Kamusta yung channel?
Kanang effort na kaya smile ba yan ang mas.
She's here because she'll be too shy to introduce herself. This is my fiance Grace in the very back.
Hi, Grace!
Grace is preparing some treats.
Let's go
for
to
you guys,
Slow
so.
Grace!
So passing out some notes, and then if you guys want to write down the questions, we can do that as well.
Wow, really? Wow! I feel like I'm in training already for BYC.
So guys, just so you know, as well, there's water and coffee over there anytime you want. Don't be shy if I'm talking, just grab whatever you want. And also there's a CR, kind of go out past the elevators and all the way around if you need that as well. So anyhow, Margaret, those questions were your name. And
Name, channel?
name. We're gonna go around the room and everybody's gonna share name, channel, how you found BYC.
No, how why you started vlogging,
Why you
how
started
you
vlogging.
started vlogging, and how you found BYC.
You got all that?
Write it down.
Very quick. And then Margaret said she wanted to start first.
Wait, I need to go live.
I'm honored that
The
you
first
included me.
person to hold the top for the team.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
Going live. Guys, you can go live and share it here. You're not friends in Facebook?
You and I?
I would not.
We are. Or just on Messenger maybe.
I can start. I cannot. Dili mo katag o tao.
She has a script.
Yeah.
Very professional.
Hi guys, my name is Yogi Ibanez and my YouTube channel is same Yogi Ibanez. I started vlogging last August. Actually, I found it a little bit late with the pandemic going on because some of my friends asked me to do vlogging because I used to travel a lot. And when I travel, like I usually take a video of myself and just like that. And then they said, where are your videos? And I don't have a YouTube channel yet because the very reason why I haven't started YouTube channel because the editing. I really don't know how to do edit and all. And then, mother siya, na-find out na ako. Bisaya na ako. Nawala ko English.
Yes, you can speak.
Pwede rin siya ma-learn. So, yes. And I started vlogging after that. And then how why I started vlogging. then how I met BYC. It was a common friend of me and Margrette. She's also somehow a fan because she keeps on commenting with my travel photos, videos, like, wow, that's so nice. And then she introduces me to Margrette. She's like, hey, you two should meet. You two guys are very adventurous and there. So I met Margrette.
What was that friend?
Yeah,
You forgot?
forget the name. Then I added Margrette, and then there. I was into BYC. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Who's next?
Jay.
Good.
GJ. Guys, there will be no grades, so you can speak. So silent.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Drill James Perino, but I choose to have a YouTube channel shorter than my correct name, which is GJ Perino. And why I started vlogging? I started vlogging when last 2018 or 2019. Kaya ang HR manager is also a YouTuber. At the same time, we're friends, and she told me nga you should start making videos instead of posting some things sa Facebook, because I usually post my videos in my Facebook page because I don't know how to do those editing skills. And how I started vlogging. So I started vlogging since katong nag-challenge me, challenge things, vlogs. Then nag-start ko focus sa akong vlogging career. Pag travel na ako because I found my niche nga dili day pang challenge ang ako ang forte sa vlog. It's more about history and travel goals, where I found my passion in traveling. That's why most of my contents right now is travel vlogs. And how I knew BYC? I knew BYC kay ako kay Banang Go FC ni add ko friend ni Mamaan without even know who is Mamaan that time. Then kato akong HR nga friend kay si Katleya, si Liasu. Iyahang niya siya nga si Mamaan is the founder of BYC. Moto ni kuan ko si muhang channel si Katleya.
Login?
Oo.
Okay.
Siya mong HR. Then, at that time, may comment ko sa kuan ni Mamaan sa iyang YouTube channel. And that's the reason why I'm here.
Alright, thank you. Elizabeth.
GJ. Elizabeth.
Uy, a little English.
You can speak any language. Sir John.
You guys are making me nosebleed.
So hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Veloso. My YouTube channel is same as Elizabeth Veloso. So I started vlogging last December 25, 2018. So, nag-vlog ko kay I found out in YouTube na we did come earn of that goal. So, nag-start ko vlog, then pag start akong upload, gamay naman mo view. So, lisod di ay, so dili siya sayo na journey ang pag-vlog. Then, how I found BYC. So, nakoy friend na nag-promote ni Margrette sa unang i-vote siya for Cebu Best Vlogger 2020. Gi-promote niya si Margrette, and moto pag nakadaog na ka sa Best Vlogger, nakita ka sa GMA7. Moto gi-add na ko siya December 6, 2021. Nag-date no? Sikat Mansari. So, moto niya, happy kayo ko kay iyang i-accept. Para kuya pa. I-accept niya din, i-invite ko niya sa BYC. tulong po sa BYC group. So, thank you.
Thank you. Hi CJ,
Matic.
shout out. CJ Estrada is watching.
Hi, CJ.
Hi CJ.
Hello everyone, my name is Iris Andales of Iris Andales Vlogs. Iris Andales Vlogs, yan po na akong channel. So, I started vlogging since almost 6 months already. Last July 6, 2020. So, most of my contents is about helping people with disabilities. Nag-start ko ani tungod atong pandemic season since quarantine ta lockdown. And then I started BYC kay naka-cover ko og humanitarian service which caters to my interest, which is the community service sa Taugama Fraternity. Ni-cover ko og feeding program kay natoy nasunugan sa Kalan sa Cordova. And then, na-member dito nga, kaila ni Miss Margrette, si Mr. Ryan Mendez.
Before she joined BYC, I saw a vlog of her giving people, I think it was cash.
And free
And then I said, she's so sexy, my God! Literally, we became her. So, funny but real fun. Yeah, funny and interesting at the same time.
Yes, and then, naka-join ako sa Panganan Island. Motoy akong
The one that you
First,
gave slippers?
So that's why.
First bola.
Yes, first column. Thank you.
Next.
Bobby, you go first.
Bobby, you go first.
Choice. Ladies' choice.
Presidential speech.
I actually have some notes pero gamay na siya. First and foremost, hi, good afternoon. My name is Antonio Uy. And my channel's name is Antoy Paraboy. So, reason why I do vlog because of 3 main reasons. First is I want to give back to the community where I belong, which is my own barangay. Because our church or chapel was actually burnt by someone na, I don't know, kung someone ko. So, we're actually finding a way to earn money or to get the fund para ma-restore namin yung church or yung chapel. So, I find this way to earn money because I know YouTube is actually giving money if you will get the requirements. So, yeah, that's the reason why, the main reason why I do vlog, because I wanted to give back to my community to help restoring our chapel. And luckily, I was able to do that. And my first and second sweldo, or the first and second salary from YouTube, I'm actually planning to give it back to the church where I promised to give it back. And also, it serves as my digital diary. Because I wanted to go back to the day where I actually traveled, and I wanted to feel again the moment when I was actually traveling to that particular destination. And also, I wanted to make the best out of my life. All right, and how did I find BYC? Technically, it's just a friend of friend. Friend siya ng partner ko si Nico. It's me, Rocky.
Langga.
Si Langga, yeah. Si Langga actually nagsabi sa akin about the team, and I actually tried to do research about it, and then I can see myself growing into this particular group. So I devoted myself, I engaged it to the programs that Miss Margrette is actually doing, and I can see improvement towards my career in YouTube. And I want to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bobby. Bobby.
Yeah.
Of course, you're a partner.
Hello everyone, INDAY akong angle, sir. Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Nico M. Peinado and the name of my channel is Ang Bakti ni Antoy Palaboy. Meaning I don't have a channel yet, but who knows, this might be the beginning of my vlogging career. I'm actually the one who challenges Anton during his first vlogging days. I told him, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you can do that? Are you sure that's your passion? And then he proves to me that yes, this is my passion, this is his passion, doing vlogging. I'm actually more into blogging, like I wanted to write information about products or whatnot. How do you find about BYC? Of course, it's through Anton. And why do you vlog? Maybe I would say if I will be planning to have a vlog in the future, apart from the monetary aspect, I will do vlogging just like Anton, is to make memories with your journey in this world. Diba? Wala ta kabalo what will happen next month, next year, and at least natay something na ako ang balikan. That's through YouTube. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you.
Who's next?
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I am Kay and my husband's name is JN and we are JN KABKAB. We are a actually we'll be celebrating our first anniversary on February 16 and we started vlogging because a cousin of mine told me na pag-vlog mo tigay, apil ng mga bata kay murag sa Ryan, bitaw na toys review kay kung ba si Ryan ba yung ang pinakakarang highest paid YouTuber karon ko na bitaw no, pero nung tigay na experience mo na to na makita ko na to ang mga anak na nakuhaan sila sa video ay ang mga memories.
Are you still with us?
And then I found out BYC because I searched Bisaya content creators on Facebook. Then na-add ako si Sir the previous group Miss Maan. Oh yes. So siya ang nag-add ako tapos si Miss Maan na ang ni-confirm sa inyo sa GC. No, ato ko nag-start to sa BYC. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, that's it. Thank you. Mama.
I'm Margrette. It's not a boy, it's not a girl, it's a man.
Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late because I just came in from my doctor. I have a dental appointment. The dentist called me because I need to come here immediately because of some thing that need to fix on that. And anyhow, hi guys. I hope everything is doing well and okay. By the way, my name is Sinajon and my channel is Medyo Boy. It's patterned with Medyo Malito, so that's why it's Medyo Boy. It's also Medyo Boy because I'm a half boy and half girl. So that's why it's Medyo in between. So the reason why I do vlogging primarily is because I was interested. There was one time a YouTuber, I cannot recall the name of the YouTuber, that went on my timeline on YouTube, and I was so curious because according to his blog, his first salary went to 75,000. I guess that was accumulated because I'm not sure if we can get 75,000. Not unless if you have viral stores and what's that. So that's the reason why I started vlogging 2 years ago because of financial, or I should say, I was encouraged because of the output and the revenue that you can get out of it. And right now because of the pandemic, I'm enjoying vlogging. So I started what we call the online vlogging, the reaction video, which is now the norm because of what we have in this environment right now. And I guess that's pretty much it, the reason behind why I started vlogging. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have we missed anybody or everybody shared?
of JSK.
I'm pretty sure that meant no way. So my name is John Smulo. I really appreciate all of you guys coming here. So for me, why did I start vlogging? Actually, I had the idea over a year ago, and I was supposed to start my channel probably about a year and a half ago, and I really knew almost nothing. But for me, I've owned a digital marketing agency in California for 12 years now, and video marketing was something that was so important. And so with everything that we do with our clients, I like to really learn it as personally as possible, so I'm able to do a great job for the clients that we work with. And so as I saw how YouTube was growing and video was growing, I started to try to get out of my own comfort zone to think about starting a vlog myself. It was back then that I met Secret Cameraman here, and we had planned to start, and then the pandemic happened. And so my channel got postponed. I've only been vlogging, I think, about 3 months or so now, so I'm a little bit embarrassed to be speaking to all of you who have so much more experience than I do. But what I'm hoping is that with some of my marketing experience over those 12 years, that I'll have some insights with things like SEO and other things that I hope that you're going to find helpful. So that is kind of my why my channel is John Smulo TV. How did I find BYC? I really wanted to connect with other YouTubers locally, especially as a new YouTuber, and searching around online, I came across BYC, and then I saw a friend of mine, Jenny Montero, was part of BYC, and so, hi Jenny if you're watching. So Jenny has been very supportive as well, but I asked Jenny, I said, Jenny, you think that they'll accept a foreigner to BYC? And she said, I don't know, but I know the founder, and so I'm gonna ask her. And then Margaret was kind enough to let me be a part of the group, and it's really a pleasure to be able to meet more of you here today. So what I want to do today is really walk you through kind of big picture my process for vlogging. So some of the big picture things that I thought about that we've already actually covered just a little bit today, and I also want to share some knowledge from those that I'm fortunate to be able to work with that have more expertise than I do in areas. So Melanie, who works full-time with my marketing agency that's also has an office just to us. She's going to share a bit on her process with thumbnails, and Secret Cameraman here, who's always stalking me, is going to share a bit about composition and other things with video that I know you'll find. I don't really know what work culture looks like here, or maybe they've heard different things and they aren't quite sure, and so YouTube for me gives people a really personal look at kind of behind the scenes, what we do at Purple Cow. Also, we open up Delish Deli, a small restaurant at the lobby or the ground floor here as well. And so it gives people kind of a feel for what we do for that as well. So for me, my why is really very business related, but it's also personal as well. I'm a very relational person. I love connecting with new people, and I find that YouTube, even in such a short time, has given me the opportunity to meet so many new people. I mean, if it weren't for YouTube, I would know 0 of you, most likely, right? So I'm really grateful to YouTube for giving me the opportunity, in really a pretty short time, to be able to connect with people locally here. You know, as a foreigner, it takes a little bit of time to get to know people. You know, sometimes I think people, even when they first meet me, they think maybe my English isn't that good, and I'm thinking my Messiah is terrible, so don't worry about your English. You know, I think through YouTube, it gives us an opportunity to connect on a level with each other. So maybe I'm watching, for example, a lot of Antonio's, you know, vlogs, and I see Nico's there, and how sweet these two are together, and they're traveling around. And even though, you know, we only met in person one time before today, I feel like because of, you know, the channel, I know them more than just driving in the car, you know, one time, you know, a month or so ago. So, you know, for me, you know, my why has to do a lot with the personal relationships and the connections as well. So take a moment, you know, now to really think about it, maybe even just jot down a few words, you know, but in a sentence or two, why do you vlog? Take some time, it's on your note. If you don't have a pen or a paper, raise your hand, but what is your why? Take a second to write that out.
Oh, it's brand new.
They're brand
There's
new.
still something in the can.
Oh, sorry guys. They're brand new, corona-free, just for you guys. Take them home. If anybody uses pens anymore. Well, the second question that I have here is, what is your what?
What?
What is your what? So what I mean by this is, what are the things that your vlog covers? Sometimes I watch vlogs and that's really clear. Other times I watch vlogs and it kind of seems like their what changes from episode to episode.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to ask this question so you can develop an audience that keeps growing. If your content changes from episode to episode, it's really difficult for people to know what to expect. You know, so imagine if you know, watched a new show and the show was called Margrette's Family. And you thought, well, the name of it sounds like it's, you know, something about a woman named Margrette and her family, right? It seems intuitive enough. And the first episode, that's what it was about. And then you really enjoyed it. And so you subscribed. And then the next time, the next episode came out, and it was about Margrette's family learning the latest K-pop dance. And you know, you kind of like K-pop, and so, you know, you followed along with that. But then the next time, it was about a travel video to Morocco. And then you get where I'm coming from here. So I think that every channel needs to have a clear what, and it needs to be remotely on the same page. You know, so for me, what is my what? You know, my what for my channel is about life and business in the Philippines as an expat, as a foreigner, you know, and so I cover things that have to do with my everyday life. So sometimes that's about something going on in one of my businesses. Sometimes that's about struggling with something in the pandemic. Sometimes that's learning something new about the culture. Sometimes that's things that have to do with leadership, and other things that are kind of part of my life, a little bit more about the business side. So, you know, when I look at those type of things, if somebody has a great idea for a video that is like a prank video, and they say, you know, John, you know, people are not super into life and business in the Philippines here. They really love, you know, prank videos. You know, I think about that for less than a second. Why? Because it doesn't match my what. It just doesn't fit. And even though it'd be nice to have, you know, some videos that might bring me a lot of new subscribers, I gotta stick with my core and with, you know, who I am and what I do, because whether you're a new channel or whether you've been around for years, if you want to keep growing your audience, it's really important to keep consistency with people. It's almost like if you go to a restaurant, the first time you go there, you order, let's say, some chicken. And it is really good. There's like big portions, and they got some killer gravy on the side. They give some free fries with it and a drink, and you really like it. And then you go back again the next time, and they took away the free fries. You know, so whenever people have those experiences where things keep changing, it's hard to grow an audience. It's hard to grow a following. So think about your what. You know, I think it's worth writing down as well. What are the core things in your channel that you want to cover? Just jot those out really quick. They could just be bullet points. What are the main things that you want to cover in your vlog? I'll ask you guys this as well while you're writing. How many whats do you think you should have in a vlog? In other words, how many different big picture topics do you guys think that you should have in a vlog? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Ideally, it should be one.
Okay.
But sometimes it's impossible to have all travel when you're in a pandemic, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's a more realistic number? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? What do you guys think about that?
What's the question, John?
How many different big picture topics do you think you should have in a vlog?
Well, for me, though I don't have a channel, but based on my observation, it really depends upon your what. Because if you are, for example, I'm sure if you know David Gizon. Before, David Gizon is actually more into fashion. He do, what do you call the Ukay challenge? Like, he's also comparing it with other brands. Like, if you know what I mean, like Ukay versus another topic, which is those branded products, something like that. That really depends on what is your, as what you mentioned earlier, I think it's also important for a blogger to really identify your core what, and then take it from there. If you are into fashion, then you can definitely come up with different topics about fashion.
Yeah.
You can also come up with different topics if you are into travel, and so on.
Absolutely. So I think the thing here is, for me, I think ideally I would keep the different topics between, say, 1 to 3, but have them have some overlap. Vlog, it has to be consistent with my why. You know, I think that sometimes we can think that it would be tempting to have content that was different for a particular reason. And sometimes I think we gotta resist that. Always gotta make sure that, you know, we're true to ourselves and why we originally started vlogging. You know, there's many good reasons for vlogging, but I think that, you know, with our channels, we need to stay consistent to our motivation and to our background. You know, same thing, you know, with this, how do I vlog? It always goes back to my what. I'm always gonna resist doing things on my channel that aren't consistent with my big picture topics. And, you know, going back to my who as well, you know, my channel needs to be relevant to those that are watching my channel. But one of the other big picture things that I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to vlogging and really, you know, my approach to it has to do with YouTube SEO. How many people are familiar with search engine optimization or SEO?
Not that far off.
Not that much? Yeah. A couple of you? Yeah. So search engine optimization is really simply about how we connect the content that we are making to search engines. So what's the most popular search engine in the world?
Google.
Google, right? What's the second most popular search engine?
YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. See, you guys are already experts on this. Absolutely. There's so many search engines. And so I think with, whatever it is that we do, we gotta think about the search engines where people are looking to find us. So Google's a search engine, YouTube's a search engine, Facebook's a search engine, Twitter, Instagram, all of these platforms have search engines, and they're part of our life, and they're not going anywhere. So, with my marketing agency, Purple Cow, a lot of the times we're focused on website search engine optimization, and that has some specific principles, best practices that we would follow that tell Google.com, how to find one of our clients' content on a website. So, hi, how are you?
Oh, John Eric is here.
Hello. So when it comes to YouTube, there's some specific things that we need to look at for YouTube SEO. So I want to talk about some of those things to look out for, and then I want to talk about some of the main things that YouTube looks for in terms of ranking one video above another. So what's YouTube's motivation here? YouTube survives on ads, right? Same as Google, same as Facebook. And so what they want to do is when people search for something specific, they want to give the result to their customers, which is the people searching, the best possible response. Because the better job they do of that, the more likely people are going to keep searching on YouTube to find video content that they like. Same with Google, right? Like, if you search for best, Italian restaurant in Cebu, then they want to make sure that they give you the best possible response for that as well. So the algorithm that YouTube uses is mostly 100% different. I would say probably 90% different. The algorithm that Google.com uses compared to YouTube.com. And so what we're going to talk about today is the things that YouTube's looking for. So one of the first things that are most important is titles. And what I want to do is walk you through just kind of quickly how we might approach this as a team with my channel. So put yourself in my shoes, and you're talking about life and business in the Philippines. What might be a good title or subject for me to blog on? Any ideas?
For your channel?
Yeah, so remember my what, this is why the what is so important. My what is life and business in the Philippines as an expat. What's maybe a subject that might be good, or a title that might be good for a video? I'm going to make you guys work too.
American businessman in the Philippines.
Okay?
Business in the Philippines, is it worth it?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
How to earn a living when you are foreign in the Philippines.
What was that one?
How to earn a living while you are foreign in the Philippines.
Another great topic.
What type of customers are Filipinos?
Another great topic. See, so this is what it looks like, right? You guys aren't telling me, the latest review of, the newest Marvel movie, right? You guys are thinking about my what, and you're coming up with topics that are most relevant. So the internet really sucks in here. Otherwise, I would show you guys what this looks like in real time. But normally what I would do is I would write out some of those titles, and I would just search in YouTube. And when you search in YouTube and you start to put in even one word, what happens? You get suggestions, absolutely. And so you could use YouTube for this. You could use Google Trends for this. If you're not familiar with Google Trends, have a look at Google Trends. So what Google Trends does is, if you put in a topic, it's going to show you how that topic, like the popularity of that topic over time. So if you were to go back to 2018 and put in the word COVID-19, what would you get?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Voila, right? But if you were to put that in any time over, well, say you put that in like March of 2020, what would you see on a graph? It would be like, like this, right? So it's helpful to look at something like Google Trends as well when you're thinking about content to make sure that you're in your what, but then you're also, whenever possible, searching for something that other people are searching for. So if you're able to create content that you know is already popular, you're not doing it just for the sake of being popular, but I mean, you might be. Come on, we all do that a little bit too. But it also means that you're going to be relevant to your audience as well. So you can go to google.com. There's another website called Ask the Public, and it's going to give kind of synonyms of different words. So maybe you have a topic like business Philippines, and it's going to show you kind of a visual presentation. This is askthepublic.com, I believe. A visual presentation of related words to what you're typing in there as well. It's going to help you think of a lot of ideas that maybe you wouldn't have used those exact words, but you can see that that's what other people are putting into search engines. So the more you're typing in keywords and titles, or keywords into your titles that other people are searching for, the more likely people, when they search, are going to be able to find you as well. So that's helpful, as well. Another thing you could do is just look at, the titles of some of the videos. When you put in those keywords into YouTube, look at the results. Which ones show up there, and learn from what other people are doing. There's I think a lot of wisdom in reverse engineering some things to see what other people are doing. It's not that you want to copy, but sometimes you want to, at least learn from and pull out what, is being used out there a lot. So with titles, it's also helpful to use tools like vidIQ or TubeBuddy. Have you heard of those? Yeah, so vidIQ is one of them, and then TubeBuddy is another. They have free and paid versions. But say, for example, if you download just like the free vidIQ or TubeBuddy extensions for like Google Chrome, there's a ghost moving in Margrette. For vidIQ or Chrome, it's gonna give you a lot of information when you go to other people's channel as well. So if, for example, you want to see what tags people are using, a lot of those type of things. Yeah, it's helpful. So use those tools. There's a lot of good free ones out there, but those are the two that I use and that I would recommend. vidIQ.
How do you use TubeBuddy? I don't really have any idea how to use them.
Yeah, I think some of the most helpful ways is just to search for different tags and different content. And no, I use it especially TubeBuddy, especially for putting tags in a channel. Yeah.
How is it different with the one in YT?
The one in which one?
In YouTube, the one in YouTube itself. There's somewhere you can place tags, right?
There is. Yeah. So you would use the research in TubeBuddy to put those tags into YouTube.
I think TubeBuddy does the tags recommendation for you.
Yes.
Like everything that is in the system of YouTube, it gathers all of those and.
So you have to upload your video there?
No. It integrates
It's like
with
an
YouTube.
extension for YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah. I apologize. We don't have better internet for this, but I can maybe even do a screenshot kind of video to share with you guys. Just send me a message if you want me to show you what that looks like on the back end. Yeah, just send me a message on Facebook or something like that. So vidIQ and TubeBuddy integrate with YouTube itself. So when you go to Studio, where you would normally upload everything, so you know how it is. Like you upload your video. description, and then there's all the tags area. So that same exact area, say you have vidIQ or TubeBuddy installed, kind of over to the right, it's going to show all of that type of information as well. So say that you put in the tag like lechon or something, then it's gonna show.
Very dramatic word.
Messiah, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's just gonna give you a lot of tags that are kind of related to that people are putting in there, and it's mostly gonna give different numbers. And so say it gives a number like 10, or this is vidIQ, especially or it gives a number like 60. You want to go for the higher numbers because it means there's less competition. So sometimes tags are going to be super competitive, and you have to look at how many subscribers you have and how many views. The higher your subscribers and views, the more likely you'll be able to use more competitive keywords. For me, especially as a new channel, I always look for what are the least competitive tags, and I go for those, ones as well as my channel grows. Then I'll kind of add some low competition and medium competition keywords and so on. But this is important when it comes to your title in YouTube. This is one of the important things that YouTube, ranks a video on. You want to pick keywords that are really relevant to what the video is about, and you want to make sure that those keywords are, ideally the first or second or third word in your title. So say, for example, that you are doing a video. What are we going to pick for me? She's getting nervous to speak right now. So I want to, Melanie, if you don't mind coming up here. So I have to say, Melanie is, when we started Purple Cow here, it was Grace, my fiance, and I that, Grace helped me start everything from the scratch. But the first person that we hired was Melanie. Melanie is one of our graphic designers, and we've become like family. So it's great to have her sharing with us as well.
Nice outputs, Melanie.
Yeah, nice outputs, Melanie. So Melanie, I might bring you up just first a sec, my shy friend. So Melanie, can you tell us a little bit about starting off? What software, different softwares do you use to create thumbnails?
So good afternoon, everyone. The software that I am using is Adobe XD. It is free, and you can learn it through YouTube tutorials. I am really not used to XD, but Sinajon let me use so that I will be flexible. And I've been a web designer for 4 years already, but XD is new to me, and I learned it only in YouTube. And it was very challenging, but if there's a will, there's a way.
Melanie's being very sweet because what she really wants to say is, John made me learn. Yes. And then in terms of process, what do you think about when it comes to process?
First thing we do is we come up with a title. Then it's usually Sinajon who gives the title, or we ask for our content writer's help. Liz, she's very good, and after we have a title, me and Sinajon usually take a photo in my phone because we need it urgently. Then after I take a photo, I upload it in our backup. Then after that, I use Canva. Are you familiar with Canva? Yes, it's very useful tool. I use that one for cutting the background. Yeah, that's why you see Sinajon with the mask and without the background. Then I edit the photo, I enhance the quality, and then I go to Freepik. Are you familiar with Freepik?
Freepik, FREEPIK.com.
No. Yeah. Freepik is very useful because there are lots of graphics, pictures, and illustrations you can use. And after that, I'll do a finish.
What do you use Freepik for in the thumbnail?
The background.
Ah, the background.
Yeah. If you notice that it's like a comic background, that's thumbnail. Yeah.
Usually solid colors, right? Sometimes.
Mostly all it's always.
So you get it from there.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. So,
I have a question.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please give me ask Melanie
For
questions.
thumbnail titles, does it really have to be similar to what you have in the title section, or what do you recommend to be placed in the title in the thumbnail?
Yeah, so for the thumbnail, I always recommend having it different than the title itself, but supporting. So, yeah, so think about when you're scrolling through YouTube. What stops you? Is it the title or the thumbnail? What first stops you?
Thumbnail.
Thumbnail, right? So the thumbnail, thank you, Melanie, is the number one most important thing. You could have the most awesome videographer, video editor, best content in your channel, the most skinny presenter. Wasn't that funny? But if you don't have great thumbnails, people are just going to keep scrolling as well. So the thumbnail is really arguably the number one most important thing for YouTube SEO and for getting more views, to your channel. So what I normally do is try to have an image that's going to stand out. So the overwhelming majority of images are kind of like a photo that somebody would take, and they're great, but I don't want to be the same as everybody else because I want people to click on my thumbnail, not yours, right? So that's why, for me, we have mostly colors that are vibrant, a bit more solid, and letters that are really stand out against the background. So I'm not pretending that this is the best way to do it, but for me, my approach is really how can we create thumbnails together that when people are scrolling, something about it is going to stand out. And so I would say find a style that you like and that will connect with people when they're scrolling, and be original. Don't have something that everybody else has, even if it looks great. Sometimes even if you have the world's ugliest thumbnail, maybe that's going to capture more attention than something that's really nice, but that looks like what everybody else has. So normally with our process from here, what would happen is the part that I least like, and that's where I say, and so we're going to do this now, and then Melanie's going to create a thumbnail for us, but I say, Melanie, we came up with a title, and it's called Business in the Philippines. Is it worth it? And then I need to take a selfie, and then I cry like a little kid because I hate taking selfies. And then I say, Melanie, how should I pose for that? So let's do that now. So business in the Philippines, is it worth it? Yeah, how do you want me to pose? You want me to be thinking? Oh, because is it worth it? Got it. Okay, where do you want me to stand? Over here?
Oh, real time!
So, like this? Oh, you want me to take on my hand? Good idea. Don't worry, I have Corona-free people.
Hindi naman imuliho.
Okay? Or different. You tell me. This? Okay, a little. Okay, okay. Thank you, Melanie. Mostly I whine a lot. I'm like, come on, really, do I have to take a photo? And then what Melanie will do from here, that she's gonna do while we continue is create a thumbnail for us. So
when do you say yes to a thumbnail?
when do I say yes?
Yes. Okay, that's perfect.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's a good question. For me, probably 8 times out of 10, the first thing Melanie comes up with, I say, that's great. Or sometimes I'll say, I look way too fat in that. Can we change that photo? Or something like that. Or sometimes maybe we have too many characters in a thumbnail, and so I won't be really happy about that. But actually, one more thing, Melanie, that I normally would give her as well that we need to think about is kind of a complimentary thumbnail title. So if our title for the video is going to be Business in the Philippines, is it worth it? What might be a thumbnail title that would work? Normally we do 4 words. It just kind of fits big in my thumbnail. So, business in the Philippines, is it worth it? So we really want to first kind of stop people by the graphics and how it looks, but then they got to read something that's going to kind of really make them then look at the title, which then is going to make them make the decision to watch the video. So here we could, have something that is going to be a little bit more catchy. We're not worried about keywords because YouTube isn't able to read the graphic. I'm trying to think as well, but if you have any ideas.
Probably what I could suggest on the text itself would be just a question mark.
Question mark?
So instead of putting it like something business in the Philippines or whatnot, since your picture is showing yourself thinking it, you could probably just put a big question mark there.
One possibility. Normally I like to go with words. Might stick with that just for this time. Having another question mark, totally fine as well. But I want to make sure my face is not something that's going to just like grab people with a question mark. I don't think.
Good or bad?
Good or bad. Want something that actually is going to kind of be really related in and of itself still. So still related, but different. So it could be something like, even think like newspaper headlines, like must know, or
Do's and don'ts.
do's and don'ts. But let's be a bit more urgent. We really want to really grab people. Yeah, urgency, absolutely.
You're still talking about the text in the thumbnail?
Text in a thumbnail, something that's going to be complimentary with the title, Business in the Philippines, is it worth it? So if a thumbnail, title is like, if you were to put it with, kind of like getting somebody's attention, it want to be like, hey. You'd be like, hey, come here. That's what you want to do with people, right? There's no social distancing on thumbnail titles. You have to really grab them.
Yeah, or nine. No urgency.
We need something that is interesting, something that's gonna grab them, but that's relatable. It's really hard because some words are bigger, and so that's why maybe we go through 6 different titles and thumbnail titles, just trying to get it down. So if we can get in the ballpark,
It's
so
hard.
it is, absolutely. Yeah, so these are some of the things that take time.
So I just have a follow-up question. Since we're talking about the thumbnail text, so how many words or characters should be onto the platform in the thumbnail that would be advisable?
Yeah, that's a great question that I don't have the answer to. For me, mostly we have like our kind of standard template, and I just will kind of know kind of more visually. So I apologize, that's a great question I don't have the answer to, but I know for me, mostly we do 4 words, and if one is big, then some need to be smaller, because the words need to be big. If people have to like look, you've already lost them. They've already kept scrolling. So you really need text that is big enough to like stop people in their tracks. So it's not a whisper, it's a shout. You really need to grab them with.
May I have a follow-up, John? With regard to the text and the color, should that be uniform throughout throughout, should I say, the next thumbnail or throughout your page, or should that be?
No, it's okay. Well, we might at the very end. Is it showing you different screens in the background, or just keeping this one? This one? So.
I have a suggestion for
Yeah.
the text.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Um,
Because that creates urgency and curiosity to your viewer. So why did you say don't do it? Let me just check this video.
So this is a conversation. I'm not saying right or wrong, but here's maybe my thinking. I like it because it's it really grabs you. My only concern would be that it gives the answer in people's mind, like, oh, don't do it. Whereas I personally want to make them watch, like have a title that's also going to draw them in. So instead of don't do it, I would probably say, should you do it? Question mark. What do you guys think? Okay, close, but it's a question, and hopefully they're going to want to get the answer
From the video.
So John, what you're trying to say, deviate from using negativity on the text instead of don't, should.
Yeah, we really want to create like a conversation, right? Where they're going to want to enter into that. So should I do it? Then they're going to have to click if they really want to get the answer. So I think it just gives a little bit more curiosity. I think you can be very definite, but like think about if you've ever gone to read a review on a camera or a microphone or a movie, whatever it is, and it says something like, don't buy this camera before you watch this. You know they're baiting you, but you kind of can't help but click, right? Because maybe there really is something where you better watch this before you buy that. So it's one of those things that again is kind of pulling you in as well. Yeah. So any final questions? I know I've talked a lot about thumbnails, but it's because it is so important. Yeah. Okay. So next, we already see description. So this is big picture. Your channel description is what I'm talking about here. Normally it's recommended to have between 200 and 250 words, in your main channel description. And you also want to have keywords here, so again, it all goes back to your what? What is your content about? You should be able to put that into a sentence. If it's a paragraph, your channel's about too many things, so what is your channel about? You should also have some keywords that are big picture keywords about your challenge. So for me, I said my channel is about life and business in the Philippines as an expat. Some of my keywords are things like expat blogger, business owner, different things like that are a really big picture about what my channel is about. And so I want to, include different things like that in my description, and I want to have a trailer that, a channel trailer that also kind of big picture talks about those things as well. So everything just feels like it's consistent as well. When you go to Jollibee, even if they own, Mang Inasal, you don't expect to see Mang Inasal menu items at Jollibee, right? You expect their branding with colors and the way it looks inside to be the same and the logo to always be exactly the same. You expect to see, I don't know, what's the Jollibee bee called? Is there a name for him? Or her? Or, no?
Just Jollibee.
But you don't expect Mickey Mouse though, right? You always expect, the Jollibee there as well. So that's with your channel as well, With your description, with your trailer, it should have the important keywords in there that help YouTube to know what your channel is about. People should also know, you should state what it's about and tell people what they should expect from your channel as well. Your channel description, big picture, include a little bit of that in your videos as well. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you never know where what is going to be the first video that people are going to watch in your channel, right? So you want to think about that as well when it comes to your channel. Excuse me. No, maybe not going to work. Well, you guys can follow along on your paperwork. Is now here. Excuse us while we're multitasking on the computer if it doesn't come up. So in terms of the description for each video as well, whatever your title is, so for us today it's business in the Philippines. The first sentence to that video would probably be something like, have you ever thought about doing business in the Philippines? So again, I'm putting those keywords in there as well. And then I'm going to mostly include those keywords at least 3 more times. So 3 or 4 times total in the video, I'm going to put those keywords. And the way that I do it, if you look at all of my videos, is I kind of have some text. It's just a template. I don't think many people read these, so it's really just there for YouTube SEO. But 3 or 4 times I repeat those same keywords just to let YouTube know what that video is about. And so the way I do it is I'll just put my exact title 3 times in my description. And then that way it just covers the keywords exactly like I want them. And I always include a link to the URL for that video as well. So, include some text up at the top that's relevant, but always include those keywords. Other thing that I have on there is any social media links that are important for me. So, I have John Smulo TV Facebook and Instagram that are in all of my videos, as well. I just kind of keep that there as a template. So if you have your videos in multiple places, or there's other people you want people to connect, with you, that's important as well. And part of that is that YouTube is looking at how many people are sharing, links to your YouTube and what you have from other channels. And they're looking at links on other sites and how many people are sharing your videos or embedding your videos. So for example, if you have a blog, it's always a great idea to embed your blog videos into your blog as well. You might look at sites like Reddit or Quora, Quora.com, another social network. and other sites where you can put links or embed your videos. Because the more places your videos are, that's also a really important signal to YouTube that people like this video, they're sharing it, and so any opportunity that you have to put those videos in different places, make sure and include that as well. I always include some related videos on everyone as well, and a playlist URL link. And the reason for that is that you want to keep people engaged. You don't want them to just watch one video. Like, you know, what's better than someone watching one of your videos than watching 2 of your videos? What's better than watching 2 than watching 20? You know, so playlists in there for people that are interested are really important as well. And if you have a number of videos on the same topic, include those as well. And then hopefully people will keep clicking on those to your other videos as well. Then at the very bottom of every single video description, that's where you want to include the hashtags. How many should you include? Really doesn't matter that much as long as they're relevant. So I would include at least say 3 or 4. But if you want to put 10, it's okay. Just make them relevant. Make them relevant to what it is that you want to talk about. Next thing I want to talk about is custom channel URLs. So if you go to your channel name, do you know after youtube.com/c/, how many of you know what the characters are after that for your channel? 2, 3? No idea. So what you want to do, mine is John Smulo TV. But it started off as something like,
Like that.
exactly, G2M_3, Mickey Mouse, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, exactly. I can never remember that. And what does that mean to YouTube? Absolutely nothing. So, by putting, my name in it of my channel, it just helps for, the YouTube search engine and other search engines like Google as well to realize, like, if John Smulo TV is my YouTube URL and somebody searches for me on Google or somewhere else, it's going to help them to find me on YouTube as well, right? Like, Google's going to show my channel name in there as well. So how do you get one of those custom YouTube URLs? You need to have at least 100 subscribers. Your channel needs to have existed for at least 30 days. And you just need to have uploaded like your channel art, your thumbnail and the background. And then as long as those minimum requirements have been made, and the URL is available, then you'll be able to change that as well. So, definitely if you haven't already branded yourself with that, I definitely recommend that. If you don't know how to do that, send me a message as well, and I'll help you with where to find how to do that on the back end of YouTube. So another thing, if you go down, is file video name. One of the things that you may not be aware of is that your file name, when you go to upload it to YouTube, should be exactly the same name as your title. Because YouTube actually looks at the keywords in your file title as well. And it's just one more thing that helps with.
Does it have to be exact the same title or same words, perhaps jumbled?
Ako, untitled ragin na.
Yeah, the best that I understand is that it should be the same. So I have to say sometimes, like, I always kind of put John Smulo at the very end of my title. Mostly I leave that half in the file. YouTube can find that, easily enough. But the rest of the title, I'm able to
Diha sa ibang
pretty much do word for word.
drive. Dapat same yung title.
All right. Any other questions about that?
Pero
So moving on to video tags.
Video name.
You know, with video tags, how many of you use video tags? Are you familiar with those?
I use default.
Sure, sure. So mostly it's going to give you up to like 500, you know, characters on there. I would, you know, recommend using as many of those or all of those, as long as there's relevant, you know, titles. So you want to start off with tags by looking at what are the things most relevant to your keywords. You know, so for me, with this video, I might type in, you know, business Philippines as, let's say, like a first kind of thing. And then, especially if I'm using vidIQ or related suggestions. So most search engines these days kind of work like a thesaurus, you know, where if you put business Philippines, they're kind of going to give you related terms, but that, you know, that people search for. Related to that as well, and so it's going to give you a lot of recommended, you know, suggestions, you know, with that. So start off with your exact keywords, you know, using one of those tools, and then I would click on the ones that aren't super competitive, and then I would start off with maybe a little bit more general, like then maybe I would do, you know, Philippines or, you know, business, and I would then look at the recommendations and see, you know, is there anything else there that is, you know, recommended as well. And then you might want to do kind of something that's a little bit, you know, broader as well. So say that I was doing a video on something like how to boost your self-confidence. You know, I might, thumbnails, we'll talk in a second about why else that's really important. So
Nice one, Melanie.
nice one, Melanie. Actually, Seth, you want to start putting your, seeing what you got to do. I think yours is on the or the desktop, one or the other. Okay, so final section. What does YouTube look for to rate a video high? One of the first things is click-through rate. Anyone know what click-through rate is?
This is the
what?
Click-through rate?
The number of persons who leave your video.
Yes. So it's the number of people that click on your video on a given page. So say that you type business in the Philippines, there's going to be between 1 and, I don't know the exact number, of videos that are going to show up. And YouTube looks at, out of all of those videos, how many times do they pick yours? Yes. This is really important for ranking videos well on YouTube because it's a little bit of a popularity contest when it comes to how they decide to rank videos. If every time people are scrolling past yours, say if your click-through rate is only 3%, that means 97% of the time, people don't find what you have there interesting. And that signals to YouTube, this must not be that interesting. Now, again, it could be the best video on the planet. Like, how else can YouTube know that if people are never clicking on it? So again, this is why I can't underestimate or overestimate how important a thumbnail is, because that's the first thing they look at. And so thumbnails are the #1 most important thing to boosting your click-through rate. And #2, your title, because that's the second thing that they look at as well. So really, you know, don't just work hard on your video. Work hard on what will get them to your video. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's upping your click-through rate that is really important for you there as well. So ideally, you're going to have a click-through, you know, rate of like 12 to 15% or higher. Anybody know what their click-through rate is?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a look because on in YouTube Studio, it's going to give you, you know, those types of numbers. And I mean, sometimes especially at the beginning, I was doing things a little bit different, and my videos were not getting any views. And with some of them, I just changed my thumbnail, and really quickly got a lot more views on them as well. And the reason why I believe that happened is because they got a higher click-through rate, and so YouTube started to show those videos more, you know, and so it increased the views as well. So number one important thing for that, you know, YouTube looks for ranking your videos high is click-through rate. The second thing is watch time. So when I first started with YouTube, I told Seth, like, I really want long videos because I know I need 4,000 watch hours to get monetized, and if I have like a 4,000 hour long video, okay, I didn't say that, but you know, if I have like 30-minute videos, then it's going to be way quicker for people, you know, to get to that 4,000 hours than if I just have like 3-minute videos. But I didn't understand. I'm a little self-conscious with me showing you how to do that. But what I realized is that one of the things that is also very, very important for YouTube deciding where it's going to rank a video is this watch time. So say that you have a 10-minute video and people watch on average 5 minutes of it. That means that your watch time is 50%, right? 5 minutes is half of 10 minutes. But if your watch time is 50%, you know, it's okay. But say on the other hand, you had a 5-minute video and people watched 4 minutes of it. That would be not a 50%, but an 80%, right? So that's going to tell YouTube, people are really interested in this video. So I have very short videos now because I'm not that interesting. But what I know now is that it's more important to have, you know, videos that are at a length that people, on average, are going to be engaged with. You know, like we probably watch each other's videos from beginning to the end. We know each other. We want to support each other. Most people, they don't do that with us. You know, they vote with how interesting is it. You know, so it's far better to have a video length that you see people are engaged with as well. It's not about how long the video is, it's how long people watch the video for, specifically what percentage of time people watch the video for as well. So ideally, you want to get, you know, at least 50% of people watching your video to the end. I'm not there, but that's my goal. You know, the more people that you have that are watching your videos to the end, the more Google is going to show your videos to other people as well. So click-through rate, watch time, both, really, if you get those down, you're going to have a very successful YouTube channel. If not, those areas you need to work on. So I'm going to share some other things that are important as well, but none of these come even close in comparison to watch time and click-through rate for ranking, you know, your videos high. If you get people watching a high percentage of your videos, and if you get a high number of people that click on your video instead of others, your channel is going to keep growing as well. So, you know, with a newer channel, some of the things like titles or you know, things like thumbnails are things that I think we're doing okay on. Other things, you know, like we worked on upgrading sound, you know, because if you have a great video but the sound sucks, that's going to be one of those things that make people not keep watching the video. So sound is super important. You know, for me, maybe one of the most important things. Say you take 2 videos, they're exactly the same video. 50% are watching this video and the sound sucks, and 50% are watching the exact same video and the sound is awesome. You know, what do you think the difference in watch time is going to be with those 2 videos? The sound sucks, you know, maybe the watch time is going to be 20%. You know, if the sound is awesome and it's a great video, maybe the watch time is going to be 50%. You know, so sound, different things like that are important. You know, the other thing that I'm looking at is, you know, how can I do better at intros and segmenting things in a way where I'm telling a story where people want to, kind of grab the first part, and then I get them to grab the next part and grab the next part. I feel like, that's another area that, we really need to work on more as well. So, with watch time, be thinking about, what's the next thing that you could do to up your game with your videos? What is, one thing that if you were to do that people would be more likely to watch your videos longer? I mean, it's the challenging part of YouTube, but I think the really fun part about it as well. If it was easy, it would probably get more, but I think that this is one of those things where we could help each other out, and I'd love to see, maybe you guys do this with each other, but I would love to see more of us kind of helping each other, giving, helpful feedback, to each other, and I would welcome any of you at any time, if you were to get in touch with me and say, hey John, if you were to do this one thing, I think this would really improve your videos. I would thank you for that, because for me, I know that learning anything worth learning is always something more to learn, and sometimes we can be blind to the things that are holding us back a little bit as well. So what else does YouTube look for? Comments. If people are taking the time to leave comments, it signals to the YouTube algorithm that people are engaged with what they're watching and they care enough about it to leave a comment. The overwhelming majority of people don't leave comments, right? So if you have a channel where there's more people that are leaving comments, that's going to be really helpful. Is YouTube able to see if it's always the same exact people leaving comments? Probably. YouTube is very clever with the algorithm, as Google is as well. So we want to make sure that not just with each other, but in general, we're seeing new commenters and people engaging as well. The other thing that sends a huge signal to YouTube that someone really was engaged with your content is if they subscribe right after they watch your video. Subscribers is important. There's other things that are way more important than subscribers though. So I think that a lot of us look at how this person has 5,000 or 50,000 subscribers. That's important. But again, what does YouTube look at? Click-through rate and your watch time. Remember, those are always, really the two metrics that we don't know that about each other's channels, but YouTube knows that about our channels, and they're looking for that even more than subscribers, as important as that is. Another one is that YouTube looks that people continue to watch YouTube after watching your videos. So again, YouTube is looking out for its own self-interest. They want to keep people on YouTube as long as possible. So if your videos spark the desire for people to watch more videos, even if it's not on your channel, YouTube is going to love to send people to your channel because they're going to know that for whatever reason, people keep watching YouTube after they watch your channel as well. It's all about engagement. And then finally, likes versus dislikes. If you have a high ratio of likes, that's helpful as well. Again, what are the two most important things though that YouTube looks for? Absolutely. So, all right, guys, that is. I will have a question and answer time at the end, but I'm going to hand it over to secret cameraman here to share some more.
Secret cameraman.
Okay.
No, it's not a secret.